said, "Hey, Rich, I'm recently married, high value, multiple six figures, 8.5 out of 10 on looks, 9 out of 10 on social. I just realized that my wife doesn't care when I'm in different times, pretends to care until inconvenient." I'm not sure what you mean. I just realized that my wife doesn't care when I'm in difficult times. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, I said it in my book, Linux, like women don't care about your struggles. They hang out at the finish line and they pick the winner. You can't drop your shit on a woman. She doesn't care. She wants to know that you've got it figured out. It's, it's a frustrating part of long-term relationships, bro. It's just, she has to know that you've got it figured out. You can't dump your shit on her, complain about your boss. Oh, my supplier and this guy does it. Like, you have to figure it out. Right. So you're never going to find a woman that really cares or cares that deeply for your struggles. It's like, just don't expect it. You're better off just figuring out yourself, having some kind of board of advisors, talking to your boys about it, being in a kind of like a business networking group so you can run it up the flagpole and, see what the guys say. Eder over here says, "I can tell she means well and she seems feminine. She doesn't understand polarity though. I've noticed that psychology has stayed away from this fundamental, and that's for a reason, the equality narrative." So I think Eder, if anything, he's offering a little bit of feedback on your stance during this conversation.
I totally believe in polarity, and I think that's where attraction happens, in the contrast between both masculine and feminine energy. And also the attraction happens in the absence between the partners. You need to
but I mean, you're also saying in the same regard too that, men need to work on themselves and go to therapy and talk about their feelings, sort of stuff. And it's like, in the vast majority of cases for most of those guys, they could solve all of those problems with a gym membership, a dojo membership, and a new Porsche. They just, it's like, their status and, their position, while women may not like that, women will like the guy more for really not giving a fuck. Women like guys that don't give a fuck. I don't know what to tell you. Women are strongly attracted to these guys that are a bit of an asshole. They have a bit of an edge to themselves. They really just don't give a fuck that much. And that's what women are attracted to. And until that changes, I don't think men should change. I think men should focus on improving themselves, losing the weight if they're too fat, improve joining communities and groups and networking and finding better men to sort of be around and making more money. That's a far better use of their time than to sit in a closed room talking to a woman about their feelings.
Well, it's one point of view, but I mean, no, not all women are like this. Some women want someone who works on themselves mentally, not trying to push away his feelings and avoids doing the work and trying to escape with other activities and with going out with their buddies. And I mean, I know it's very important to have a group that you should belong to, for example, a reading club or for a woman, or your fitness buddies for a man, or fishing buddies, or whatever. It's I don't deny it's also therapeutical to belong to other group of men of your interest.
Oh, it's a far better use of their time. Absolutely.
Sorry?
It's a far better use of their time than therapy for the most part. Therapy for men is practically useless. For like the vast majority of men don't need therapy.
So you think it's better to not be aware of why you repeat the same patterns and the same mistakes, and you repeat the same mistakes in the relationship?
I've heard a lot of women, complain about men a lot of the times. Oh, well, he was controlling, he was financially abusive. And when you start to ask them difficult questions like, okay, well, tell me about what he did that was so controlling. Oh, well, he wouldn't let me hang out with my male friends. I wanted to go on a trip to go see the Metallica concert 5 hours away because they had a free ticket and he didn't want me to go. And he was trying to control me. It's like, you're married. You have no business traveling around with other men to go to a Metallica concert, when you're married and you have children. Like, that's not controlling. Or if you hear something like, oh, he's got, what's another one, like financial abuse. Oh, okay. So you asked some questions. So what do you mean by, financial? Well, he set a budget and, I can only spend so much money on clothing, but my nails cost this and, my hair. It's like, no, he set a budget. He's trying to rationally distribute the household resources in a financially responsible way. And you want to overspend. Like, how is that? Like, a lot of these guys really don't need to deal with any of this stuff. I'm not saying that there aren't men out there that could do with therapy. There's probably a chunk of them out there, but I think for the vast majority of cases, it's just bullshit. It's just psychobabble bullshit that doesn't improve their lives. I think that women need to check themselves. That, like, a lot of women have a high level of entitlement and grandiosity about men owing them something. And I'll say it again: men don't owe women shit. Prove that you're worth something first.
I agree with you on that. Soldier.
I don't think that any woman sits around with their girlfriends and legitimately thinks to themselves, I really want a guy that's more in touch with his emotions and went to therapy. What they're thinking, I want a tall fucking guy with broad shoulders and narrow waist that drives a nice car, that knows how to set a date, that can be a gentleman, that knows how to protect me, that can beat up the bad guy if he breaks into the house. It's they don't really want another pussy. They don't. I hate to say it, but they don't. They don't want a bitch.
All right, I'm worried about men suppressing all this stuff then. They're trying to be alpha males and get laid more often, be masculine.
That's not what it is.
Then they're suppressing stuff.
You've completely summarized the entire conversation the wrong way. I'd invite you to watch it again, maybe read some of the live chat comments. If anything, I'll leave you with this because I got to leave in a couple minutes. Do yourself a favor. The next book that you should read, Dr. Orion Taraban, it's on Amazon, The Value of Others. Read it. It's dense. It's written at a very high level. You probably have to go through it a few times. I've read it 5 times. But he's spot on with just about everything in there. That should be your next read if you really want to get some clarity beyond just like the psychologist training that you're going through, because there's a lot more to it than just that, if we're being honest. Cool.
All right. I will definitely will. Thank you.
Thanks. All right. I'm just going to pull you out of the stream and have some last words with you guys. How you doing? We're back. Again, apologies if you came in later. I had to kill my video feed to keep the the bandwidth workable so we could go back and forth. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I mean, I always like having conversations with people that challenge the stuff that I've talked about. All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the Courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.